I'm a neurologist specializing in multiple sclerosis, and I've been doing telemedicine visits for the last 20 months. I have seen some outlandish stuff. On her golf cart, kind of hanging out. And literally the whole time I'm talking to him, this is my view. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the craziest and funniest things that have happened to me on telemedicine. Don't turn away, because that starts right now. Howdy, and thanks for learning about MS with me, Boster. I'm the founder of the Boster Center for Multiple Sclerosis, where we care for families impacted by MS from around the globe, both in the office and on telemedicine. And in fact, since March of 2020, I've been doing telemedicine visits. At times, it was 100% of the visits during the peak of the pandemic. Right now, 50 to 70% of my clinic visits are still conducted online. And I have seen some crazy stuff. So I can't wait to share with you. But before we jump in, a quick disclaimer. I'm going to be talking about people doing stuff like driving while being on the phone. And I'm not okay with that, and I'm not suggesting that. So I'm not condoning dangerous behaviors. I'm just sharing the craziness that has been telemedicine in my clinic. Let's jump in. Telemedicine opens up the entire world as to where you can conduct your medical visit. So it's not in front of me in my office. It could be in your house, and it doesn't have to be in your house. It could be in your car. I've conducted a lot of neurological visits in a car. Think about it. During this pandemic, we're all homeschooled and we're all working from home and we're all stuck together. We can't go anywhere. And here you need to have a private conversation. So a car is kind of like a private phone booth. And a lot of people will get in their car and close the doors, and that's where we have our visit. But it's not always just by themselves. So there's been plenty of times where I turn on the camera and a person's parked in their car with their 4 kids in the back. And quite literally, the kids are like jumping back and forth and screaming and, stop that. And she's trying to conduct a visit. That can be a little bit intense. I have had people where I turn on the camera and they're driving while trying to do telemedicine, which is terrifying, and you shouldn't do that. So they jump on and say,
"Oh, hey, Dr. B. Yeah, I'm driving. No, I'm okay. I can talk to you."
And I freak out. We turn the cameras off and make them pull over so that they don't crash while we're on telemedicine. One time, a gal who lives in a gated community literally was just cruising on her golf cart, kind of hanging out, and she was talking to me on her golf cart. I have a gentleman who's the captain of a boat, and he conducted his visit on the dock next to his boat. And people in their homes have to be creative sometimes. And so I've had a lot of telemedicine visits where someone's in their kid's playroom, or they're in an attic, or they're in their basement or their garage. I've had plenty of telemedicine visits in bathrooms. I've had plenty of telemedicine visits in people's bedrooms, and sometimes they're in their bed, and sometimes their spouse is in bed with them, for real. And it's a little awkward, but we try to do our very best. I've had plenty of telemedicine visits in spare bedrooms and workout rooms and wherever someone can find some private space. And I've had plenty of times where the telemedicine visit is in the living room and the patient's sitting there trying to pay attention, and husband, mom, dad, cousin are in the background. A gaggle of children are running around. There are dogs and cats running around, and it's like profound chaos, and it's all we can do to try to make eye contact and have our appointment. And so I've had plenty of patients or families that up and go down and spend a week or a month in some other location. And so I've had a lot of telemedicine visits in beach houses and looking at beaches, which is really cool. Aside from vehicles, some of the more interesting places where I've seen telemedicine is folks being creative at the workplace. Believe it or not, I've conducted several telemedicine visits with people in coat closets. And not uncommonly, people that work in hospitals will go into a medical storage closet with their phone and do telemedicine that way. One of my favorite telemedicine visit locations was Thunder Bay, Ontario. A dear patient of mine has a family cabin, which is off-grid and way up north and very, very remote. You can only get to it with like a hydroplane. And there he is in his cabin, and there's no electricity through a grid. He's got solar panels, and we conducted a fantastic telemedicine visit, and that was awesome. Sometimes for various reasons, medical things can overlap, and I one time did a telemedicine visit with someone who is in the pre-operative area about to go for a surgery. Now, unfortunately, sometimes life happens, and I've got on telemedicine with someone during a scheduled visit, and they're actually tuning in from the ER. They're in the ER. Now, obviously, we didn't conduct a telemedicine visit. I also want to point out the creative element of technology, because oftentimes when people turn on their camera, they've set up a virtual background. And my fave was the Bat Cave, and it literally looked like this guy was inside a Bat Cave. I loved that. Also, because of Zoom technology, it's not difficult for people to join in from other locations. And so, kind of like on the Brady Bunch, we will have several different boxes all be in one box. Mom and dad will have zoomed in from a location in another box. The patient will be here, and sometimes a friend or a sibling will jump in, and we're all on camera together. It really does lend itself to a very, very nice discussion and works out very well. People are awesome, and they're varied and sometimes wild. And I've had a lot of really interesting interactions with human beings when we jump on telemedicine. I've had people that conduct their telemedicine doctor's visit with me, and then they light up and smoke a cigarette, and I ask them to stop. I've had people drink a Jack and Coke. This guy was on his balcony, and I said, are you drinking a Jack and Coke? And he said, yes. And one time I got on telemedicine, and a woman was holding a glass of white wine, and I said, are you drinking white wine? And she said, yes. And it is not my second glass. I've had people that jump on telemedicine and they're wearing a nightgown or their PJs, or they literally haven't gotten dressed for the day, or it's very early and they just haven't gotten changed yet. I've had some folks that will conduct the telemedicine visit with the camera just under their nose like this, and literally the whole time I'm talking to them, this is my view. I've also had people demonstrate for me playing the piano or playing the guitar or playing the drums, which I thought was really, really awesome. Maybe one of my funniest experiences, I was talking to a gentleman and he was doing telemedicine on his phone in his home. We were having our conversation, and then he stood up and started to go into another room. So he's like traveling in another room, and then he goes into his bathroom while he's on the camera with me, and then he starts to get ready to go to the bathroom and says, hey, I gotta go, and he really had to go, and so we got off camera early so that he could poop. Also, on my end of the camera, there's a couple fun or different experiences that I've had via telemedicine. My office sits in the Ohio forest, and so oftentimes there'll be deer outside, and it's really cool when I can take the camera and flip it and show a family some deer. I get a kick out of that. Many of you know that my dog River comes to work every day. You might not know that she is at times rather flatulent. And one time during telemedicine visit in my small closed office, my dog was having quite some GI upset. And it was so smelly that I literally started to gag, and I had to run out of the room while the person was on camera so I could catch my breath. I thought I was going to throw up. Telemedicine is something that was thrust upon us. It's got some good, it's got some bad. I find it to be an absolutely wonderful way of dealing with a global viral pandemic and helping people impacted by MS live their best life. But it also is pretty wild, and I have seen some crazy stuff. Golf cart, kind of hanging out. Thanks for taking a few minutes letting me share those things with you. If you've had a crazy experience on telemedicine, or something funny has come up during a telemedicine visit, leave it in the comments section below, because I would love to read it. My name's Boster, and as always, thank you for learning about MS with me. And until my next video or my next live stream, or the next time I see you at the Boster Center for MS, be safe and take care. I'll see you next week.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right, boys.